Hello friends, here comes the messy part of doing the paper mache. So you definitely want to have some paper underneath your table and sort of have a space where anything that drips can get on it. So I have right here, you don't need this much. I actually did this because this glue was partially dried up and I couldn't get it to pour out of here and there's only a little bit in there. So I added some water and I stirred it up quite a bit and it's still kind of lumpy. I used to do paint pouring, and so I had this big jug that I used when I did my paint pouring. Maybe you have a jug like this for making slime or something like that. And I just added a bunch of water to it, so it's sort of watery. So it sort of looks like milk in there, but it's just glue. And like I said, mine is a little bit lumpy, so I got some glops in there. I'm not going to use those glops, but I'm just going to use the liquidy part. So it's really sticky. This is, like I said, the messy part. And then I have my mask base here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these strips of paper, tear them into a manageable size, and I'm going to be putting them onto my mask. So I want to make sure that it's not drippy. So right now it's really drippy. It's just going to make a big mess if I use it this way. I want to take some of that off. I want these little strips to be damp, not drippy. So I could even, if your hands are really gooey, you can sort of wipe them off on the strips. And if that's enough to get it damp, then you're in business. So I am putting them on. And then I'm not going to make you watch me do this whole thing, but I'm just getting it started because I do want to show you what I'm doing here and what you're going to need to do as you add the strips. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up because I know it's real hard for you to see what I'm doing right now. Okay, I want you to see that I've got this base that I made. I added a little foil to make the base of that beak shape a little bit wider. And then I'm overlapping these strips. So I've got one strip going this way. I've got another strip going this way. And I'm going from the plastic up onto the area that I glued, or I'm sorry, that I taped on there. Okay. So I'm trying to wrap those little strips around it. So it's all one piece. You don't want to put the paper mache onto anything separately. Now, I'm not going to worry about eye holes right now because I can cut the eye holes out of this paper mache later. You can, work around a space to make an eye hole and sort of sculpt the paper as you go. It's a little bit more difficult that way. It might be easier just to cut it out, but that's up to you. So let's see, this one's falling off because I didn't quite get it on there very well. And it's a little bit more difficult in the beginning, which is why I kind of wanted to show you the beginning. And then as you continue, those strips will stick to each other. It'll get much easier as you go. And so again, I'm not laying them out in a nice neat row. I'm keeping them purposely going in different directions and sort of overlapping in different ways. Let me just show you this, okay? So they're crisscrossing over each other, and that's going to make a stronger mask. If they're all going in one direction, then that creates a weak point in that direction. So you want to just sort of crisscross and overlap, and you want to sort of cover the whole area that's going to be the mask. Now, if the edges aren't perfect, again, once this is dry and you take it off the plastic, you can cut it and trim it to the shape you need it to be, okay? So you can sort of see how I'm getting started here. I'm going to do a few more strips here, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep working on this. You want to have several layers. If you run out of time, you can always go back, save that solution that you're dipping of water and glue or water and flour, and you can use it again later, just put a cover on it. It won't keep forever, but especially if it's glue, it should keep a pretty decent amount of time. If it's flour, again, you want to use it a little more quickly because it can get sour, it can grow mold on it. So I've got a big long strip here that I'm going to use. I'm just going to wrap around. Okay. So I'm just taking those strips and I'm using some longer ones. I'm using some shorter ones. Now, as I get towards the end, and again, I'm not going to keep going to the end. Let me just give you a better look at what I've got so far. Okay, so I've got some on the base, overlapping with those that have started to go up here. As I do this, I want to make sure I don't leave any spaces uncovered. So what I can do with this, because it's translucent, semi-transparent, if I look through here, if I see light coming through, that's an area where I need to put some more paper strips. So obviously I'm not to the point where I'm even close to done yet, but that's something you can do if you think you're done and you want to check it and make sure you didn't miss anything. That's one way to check. Okay, and again, I'm making sure these are not dripping all over the place and making a huge mess. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with this, and you can get started on yours. Again, you want to get these damp with a mixture of glue and water that's mixed together, so it's sort of like milk or cream, and then just cover up that base, going in different directions. And then at some point, you're going to want to start smoothing it down. Okay, so if you have parts that are sort of lumpy and sticking up, you want to smooth it all down. Again, you can do this a little bit now and a little bit later if you want. You don't have to do it all in one day. But like I said, I'm going to try and get all my layers on there now so I can clean up. I'll take a picture of it, and so you can see kind of the before and after. So this is just the beginning of putting those paper strips on there. And then when it's dry, I'm going to pop it off this plastic base, trim it, cut out the eye holes. We'll do that next time. Start thinking about how we want to decorate. Okay, so go ahead and get started. Remember to cover your workspace. Looks like I got a little drip here. I need to clean up, so I'm going to do that before I continue. And you can get started on yours. So have fun. See you next time.